Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus withdrew toward the sea with his disciples. A large number of people followed from Galilee and from Judea. Hearing what he was doing, a large number of people came to him also from Jerusalem, from Idumea, from beyond the Jordan, and from the neighborhood of Tyre and Sidon. He told his disciples to have a boat ready for him because of the crowd, so that they would not crush him. He had cured many, and as a result, those who had diseases were pressing upon him to touch him. And whenever unclean spirits saw him, they would fall down before him and shout, "You are the Son of God." He warned them sternly not to make him known. The Gospel of the Lord.
The Church recognizes today the anniversary of the Supreme Court decision concerning Roe versus Wade. All dioceses of the United States shall observe a day of prayer to bring reconciliation to our land. Jesus had cured many, many people. And as a result of those who he cured, who had diseases, they were pressing upon him to touch him, because Jesus was a healer and he was preserving life. How ironic that Jesus is a model for medicine that is life-giving. But since 1973, when Roe versus Wade was passed, the medical profession has legalized the extermination of living human beings. What a sad state of affairs we have had. Roe versus Wade opened the door to the disguise of demonic child killing, demonic sacrifices that seek the extermination of humanity. And that's us. In contrast, in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, Jesus says, "A thief comes only to steal and destroy and slaughter." Jesus says, however, "I have come so that we may have life and have it more abundantly." And yet we live in a culture that cancels the more out for the less in destruction. I'm personally horrified by this because when I was in my mother's womb, I had spina bifida. And a few years ago, I didn't quite understand how pervasive that was. But I found a pamphlet that said that if a baby in the womb had spina bifida, they can abort it. In other words, I may not have existed anymore. That's frightening. Conceived in spina bifida, but today's standards, I would have been aborted. Today, we must pray for the cure of the culture of death, the culture of death and the disease of abortion. Today, we must pray that Jesus would drive out the unclean spirits so that we could annihilate abortion in our land, in our country, and in our world. We must follow Jesus so that we would cherish life and seek to have it in abundance, beginning now in our hope to bring abundant life to the glory of God in heaven.
Regina Caeli, letare, alleluia, qui aquam merum isti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit,